could get that as a write-off. It would only I'd write off the taxes on it though. I wouldn't really get I'd still have to pay it. It would just I get the expense back at tax time next year.
Yeah.
And even then we have to make a certain amount of money to be registered as a business to have that tax write-off, I'm pretty sure.
I think an LLC is free.
Yeah, no, it's free to register. I already registered as our thing, so I might be able to.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it.
Because you should also be counting the money you get from stream as business revenue.
Right.
And then you take the $15 from that, get a CD drive, and then
I could
write it off.
Well, welcome to Cold Hard Trash CRT episode 49. We had a little bit of background talk there. I'm your host, Trashcan Jones.
And I'm Breeg, your fellow host of episode 47.
Ah, shit, I did it again, didn't I? Because I thought I kept thinking about 48. God damn it. I kept thinking about 48 last time. No, I'm not going to do it wrong. Of course I did it fucking wrong. 47.
It's okay. We're figuring it out. We're still, we just have too much excitement about us because I remember making a joke, in one of our first episodes about how our biggest competitor is the Talk Tue podcast. And we actually outlived it.
Did we?
As far as I could tell.
Is it not up anymore?
After the crypto, they haven't been posting.
Hell yeah, fuck you, Talk Tue. We reign supreme.
Crypto scam, we legit, we made it.
Yeah, Talk Tue goes down. We're standing alone.
Our entire, all of our listens combined is still probably less than a single episode of Talk Tue so far.
So far, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep building, and eventually we're going to overtake it.
Oh, it's Talk Tue, my bad.
Oh, yeah, the Talk Tue podcast from the Talk Tue girl, who repeatedly said that she didn't want to be the Talk Tue girl before she made the Talk Tue podcast. Yeesh.
You get your 15 minutes.
Yeah, she wrote it out.
She got a crypto rug pull. I don't even think she knows she got a crypto rug pull.
I think she got rug pulled in that too, though. I think that was the whole shit, is she also just got stolen from. I don't think she made any money.
I swear she did. It's probably one of those. I think it's one of those things where it's they put it in the contract to give her something because it's you typically have to give them something.
I think that was the whole part of the CoffeeZilla video. Is he was when he asked him the thing, he was who's the owner of the project? It's well, it's this company and also her, kind of. It's okay, so how much money did she make? And they're well, this company made this much money. I'm pretty sure she got stiffed on that shit too.
Oh man.
There's not been a whole lot about it since, but. She's not living lavish life richly, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I think she got probably now dropped by her podcast, label. Probably, I assume, if they're not posting. Not in the best position, I'd imagine.
I feel a little bit bad for her. I think she's just really embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, literally, though, her whole thing was that it was you should buy this crypto if you haven't bought crypto before, if you know nothing about crypto. So it was literally, they were trying to prey on people who knew not, There's
yeah, but I don't think
daisies.
I don't even think she knew.
Right, that's to be fair though. She might have been one of those people. There's no oopsie daisies from the team, but yeah, maybe from her side, she might have the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, did you see? By the way, it was on YouTube. The Scranton, Pennsylvania Chili's commercial.
No, is that the one from The Office?
I guess, and legitimately in Scranton, Pennsylvania, they're opening a Chili's, and they had just all of the, Office B stars, whoever they could afford, in the commercial being not their roles. But it's literally just David Wallace be hey, bring all your friends from the Scranton office down onto here. And then it's the one guy who is with Michael Scott doing the I want my baby back. He's doing that in the thing. Mm-hmm. So Jan's there with Hunter, and she's doing the dance while he's trying to sing the baby back. It's such a surreal thing. I showed it to Mrs. Trash too. We're just choosing to call her now, and she's this feels like a skit. They're trying to do it bad. Felt off to watch.
I think. They're just hamming it up a little bit, getting the bag.
I think because it even has a little bit of a grainy filter on it, it's supposed to be from the 2000s. So I think they do kind of ham it up a little bit. Maybe just supposed to be yeah, we know it's gonna be corny, so just whatever, just make it as corny as you want. We know it's gonna be bad, so if you try to be bad, then maybe it'll be at least a little good. It just seemed it was so off-putting because I've never seen anything so blatantly hey, here's The Office. Remember The Office?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen advertising like that in a long, long time.
I wonder if it's I wonder which direction this goes because Steve Carell still has a career.
Yeah.
You know, where he's out and
Right, which is
in
probably why
things
he's not
and
in the
stuff like that.
commercial. Probably a little too much of a get.
I forget his name right now, but the guy that played Jim.
Fuck. It's John Krasinski.
Yeah, he was in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, he
you
was
know?
Mr. Fantastic, wasn't he?
Yeah. They're actually coming out with Fantastic Four now, and he's not in it.
in Fantastic.
They got Pedro Pascal. I mean, his whole different multiverse bullshit was happening in that movie, so
I don't know. It's just weird.
it's a fair recast.
Did we talk about it before, though, of just like how I really just don't care about Marvel movies having A-list actors? Because that's literally not what they were doing, but whatever. Don't care. I don't care about Pedro Pascal being Mr. Fantastic. I kind of wish they gave another guy a shot.
I like seeing Pedro Pascal. So
he's not a bad actor. The superhero movies were usually the times for younger actors who were, making a name for themselves, could do the thing. Not an older actor who's just going to play the role and then probably not be Mr. Fantastic in 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think there's also having they have a bit of a retention issue, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of the people that they have, like, they're sticking around.
It is fair, too, to not, like, want to just shoehorn a young actor. Because, like, how many people became, the, what you call Captain America, Iron Man, and they are that forever sort of deal.
Yeah, but they do also have young actors, right? Like, if you watched Multiverse of Madness, they had some young girl in, like, middle school or, like, early high school playing a character, America Chavez. She was kind of the MacGuffin for the movie.
Was she the one in the Marvel video game, too, or is that a different girl? I don't remember. The Big Hands one?
Oh, that's Miss Marvel, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a show that also has a kid as a superhero. And so, like, if they do stick with this for long enough, like, they're going to have a...
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. If you're getting into Marvel, you kind of got to stick around for a bit. I'm assuming they would want you to, unless you're a villain, who they will always kill.
Right, eventually.
No, I mean, I feel like they definitely kill a lot of villains pretty early. Like, Ulysses Claw, like, Dunzo, dead, Black Panther. Like, he could have done more evil shit. He's an interesting guy to watch. He's fun.
Red Skull came back, though.
Red Skull came back, but he he didn't die from bullet to head,
Yeah.
He was, lasered away
into the beyond, wherever he's at now, guarding that stone.
Yeah, now he's not even doing that anymore because they took the stone, right?
Yeah.
He gave it him.
Yeah, is he not guarding it anymore? Then is he just is he still there but guarding nothing? Or
Yeah,
is he just dead?
Does he have anything to do? Does he have a crossword or something?
Does he bring a Sudoku book?
Rainn Wilson also still has going back to the Office thing, still has a career and is doing things. And I wonder if if it's because I think it is just because, like, if you're not getting money from acting still in other ways, like, of course you're gonna be willing to go into a Chili's commercial.
Yeah. Your price is probably lower. You haven't been getting jobs, so you're like, now you're willing to take a lower paying one.
Still get the bag.
Right.
And it probably doesn't preclude you from, taking another role in the future, right? Like, I mean, it might be a bit of a bad look, but...
I was going to say, if they do, like, an Office sort of, like, remake of any kind, then you might not be invited to it, because now you're like, oh, you're trying to just cash out your fame or whatever it is. It might be a bad look on you. I don't know.
The guy that played Stanley was like... He really wants to bring back The Office.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he have like a pitch for a spin-off with him and Kevin or something like that?
Probably.
I forget. I thought there was something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's The Office Girls that a podcast too. The Office Ladies, right? There's a lot of people trying to still cash into the fame.
Yeah, I mean...
The Office is huge.
They probably just... They know how popular The Office became after they... stopped doing it when it went to streaming and everything like that.
Right.
And probably realized that if it was going to be that big, they maybe could have gotten more money from it in the first place.
True that.
But that's just sort of how the way that payment goes. You don't get a part of the final product. You're being paid to do a job and perform.
Right.
But it's still, notoriety is still a big part of
Shouldn't you get residuals, though? For streaming, that's where it usually comes into the weird territory, right? Where a lot of actors are like, oh, this is changing things, and how are we getting paid?
Well, yeah, the big one was Scarlett Johansson in her Black Widow movie. Mm-hmm. Because her character got killed off from the MCU, right?
Right.
So that's a big deal, because if you're raking in those Marvel bucks, your character's dead, and they aren't planning. Like, they ended up making one movie afterwards, right, for her, and she was going to get money based on the tickets sold. But due to COVID, it went direct to streaming, and so she sued Marvel or Disney for a bigger portion of the streaming revenue because they weren't selling tickets.
Right, like they had initially planned to.
Yeah, and she's like, I still want to get my like proportional amount of cut of the distribution and money that people pay to see this movie, because what I was relying on, you just aren't doing.
Right,
you just aren't really selling tickets.
to.
You're not doing it in theaters.
Yeah.
Which I respect it. I mean, I think you need some good lawyers to get it done, but I think it makes sense at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
I wonder how that turned out.
Yeah, right. I wonder how the residual things work if you're an actor and you get, like, how much do you get paid each time your episode gets streamed? I wonder how that works out.
And it's in the contract.
Must be.
You got to agree on it. You come to a number and you say that that's worth it for me to do this and for my recordings of me to be on whatever streaming platform.
Right. Yeah, weird. I wonder if it's like hundreds per episode, tens per stream, because you imagine like streaming is probably happening consistently everywhere around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like pennies on the stream, like dollars on the stream? I wonder where it goes off at.
I'm pretty sure Spotify's like
pennies.
Yeah, but it's music.
Right.
You think about like scaling up to like more production. This is video. You're paying more for a video prescription.
Yeah. True.
Subscription. Than music subscription.
The doctor tells me I have to watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just wonder where, like, what the scale of it is, because that's something that you don't ever really get, like, the look behind the curtain of. It's not like actors are really saying exactly how much they get paid, rather. So this is a conundrum that was brought up to me. I was talking with Mrs. Trash earlier today. If you had 400 penises, how would you spend them? What would you do with them? I guess. Yeah, if you don't have to spend them. Well, what would you do with them? I've had the idea of spending them, but I guess you don't have to.
Do I have to keep them in a chest, or are they like all attached to me?
They're all attached to you.
400 circles about this big. Say my forearm. That'd be like 30, right? This would be pretty decently dense.
Yeah.
Amount of penises. I would probably want them removed.
Which is why I came into the idea of spending them. I mean, there's got to be some kind of system out there, ecosystem that you can create. Like, there's demand. Somebody needs a penis. You have the supply of at least 400 penises. You want them off. I mean, seems like the problem is solving itself. You can...
but you need to make sure you're getting a fair price. So, like, the thing is, you can't sell, like, body parts.
Well, yeah, it's gonna have to be straight
for
trade
transplant legally.
That's why it's straight trade under the table. Whoever needs it.
If you are trying to sell it, the big thing is that you're going to be under anesthesia. You're going to be in a very vulnerable position with your 400 penises out.
I don't know, man.
What's to stop them from just taking more and selling more without cutting you in?
You got 400 penises. I mean,
you need guards.
Are you really gonna bother with anesthesia though? It's gonna be painful, sure, but I mean, you got a lot to go with.
It's a very sensitive part.
Yeah, but we'll say these, like, they're not like the exact same penises as the one you have. They'll be like, I don't know, they're not gonna be as sensitive. I'll just say that removing them is gonna hurt, but you can pop them off like tails.
But for the person that receives it, would it be as sensitive?
Yeah, it'll work like a normal penis.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
These are just like ancillary ones because they're not like functioning ones for you because they're not attached to like your tracks or anything like that. You don't have like all urinary tracks going through your body.
Well, no, but like it was this penis and balls.
No, just a penis.
It would still have the blood flow, so I don't know.
Yeah, it'd have blood flow and
if
skin
I
connection.
got a little excited in public, like I'd have no way to hide it. I'd instantly faint. I'd
You
instantly faint, and I'd be like held up by.
You might. You need a lot more blood in your body. You probably just need to get an extra like blood bag in there. Make sure you can get the circulation enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be trying to sell them off
That's what I'm saying.
on illegal sale.
What would you try to garner for them? What do you think it'd be worth it?
I think I could sell. I could go for a pretty high price of like maybe 200,000. But I think I just have so many that like, and I want them gone. I need to move this product.
Right. You need
I think I'd go down to like 40.
All
50.
right. So it's something like like a nice Lexus. You trade one for that. You go to a car dealership and this car salesman, he's like, I got everything. I got all the cars I want. I got all the money I need, but I just got the worst penis this side of the Mississippi. And you, sir, seem like you have an abundance of penis. Off the top of your head.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Trade for a car, but like only once, right? Well, how many cars do I need? Maybe, like,
see, that's the
3 times?
thing. But you have 400. After you get like all the things that you potentially want, what are you going to be left with? Like 320 penises still? You might as well get a couple cars. You're going to have a lot.
Yeah.
Might as well get a couple cars.
I'm trying to actively get rid of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to actively give. You don't want leftovers. You're going to want, like, you're probably going to give that guy like an extra penis as a tip. Like, here, take two.
Double, like 2 or 3.
Double barrel it, buddy. Have fun.
I'd take a car. The thing is like how it's the type of market where like there aren't really sellers at all.
Exactly. You're going to be
but
the
there are
lone
buyers.
seller. And there's probably buyers out there, who want a little, either addition or full replacement. The surgery part, that's going to be on them, but, they're probably, if they really think this is a problem in their life, they probably looked into it to some degree. So if you come in with this, end solution, they probably already have the means, like, if not set up, probably they know how to set it up, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, if they've been trying for a solution.
Right, yeah, if they're already in the market of just, like, looking to get, I think so.
There's that rumor that
Elon
Musk has a botched implant. So that could be a potential sale.
There you go, bing bang. And he's like the richest. You can get anything from him. You can get a rocket ship.
Yeah.
You can get one of them Tesla cars.
I don't know if I want a car from him. I still think the Cybertruck looks cool. I have to admit. Like, I don't like the guy. I don't like how bad the machine seems to run and all the issues that it runs into. Like, doing its job as a car or truck. Like, it looks like it's pretty bad. There's some like older Teslas that are actually pretty good cars, but it just looks cool. I think I love the look. It's
just too big. It looks cool, but it just looks like it's oversized to where, like, if they shrunk it down and actually like had it car dimensions while still having it that polygonal thing, I would say yeah, it looks neat.
It would lose its swag.
Doesn't need
for
fucking
what?
Swag. Safety and reliability and ergonomics and every other
having
thing.
A working vehicle. Is that truly worth the trade?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just wish they did, if they were really trying to make that like a style, just do more cars in that style. And tank your whole company by doing so, but do it. I want to see
just to make it that angular, they are giving up like proper vision and stuff like that.
Proper vision, proper aerodynamics when driving.
Who gives a shit about that? It's an electric vehicle. You're not wasting gas.
Yeah, but when like you're driving in a windstorm, you kind of need the car to reflect air the right way, lest you get flipped the fuck over.
Fair enough. My car did get taken like a sale one time when I was in high school, and I hit a rail on an off ramp.
Ooh.
Took out my taillight.
Dang. Yeah, I was gonna say even cars that are well made today, they do have strong enough winds out there that can kind of throw you around. My car gets kind of whooped when I'm on the highway.
The real vehicle that I want,
in high winds,
which has just sort of come out, this is like a 5-year plan thing. Like it's an electric vehicle, and I don't really want to own an electric vehicle before I own like property where I can store an electric vehicle charger.
Fair. Yeah, I would say charge it at your own place. That's fair.
The Volkswagen ID Buzz.
Yeah, is that the new van?
Yeah, it's a replacement or the modern version of the old Volkswagen bus, which I really, really wanted.
I actually just saw that on the road going to work the other day.
I haven't seen one in real life yet. You're the second person that's told me that you've seen it on the road.
It's so cool. It looks just literally like a little like Volkswagen box bus. Yeah, it's like almost like a Jetsons future
It's more
car.
googie. It's bubbly.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it looks like that Jetsons like old '70s futuristic style.
Yeah, but I just think it looks so cool. I really always wanted a Volkswagen bus. I wanted a big thing where I could move a lot of people, right? So it's like, hey, do we all want to go to the movies or something? You know, we all want to go take a road trip or whatever, and it's just like we get everyone in a single vehicle that seats 9.
It's so sweet, especially the Volkswagen bus has like the table in the middle, and you can just sit in.
So I need to do another look over because I remember I was following this since their initial concept stuff was coming out in like 2020.
Yeah, they had that
2021.
commercial where they were like right after the clean diesel scandal or whatever. There was like the guy walking up and turning off the radio about all their scandals, and then he starts redesigning the Volkswagen bus.
I think because there's a whole thing in the original design where it's like the chairs can turn around.
Oh, yeah.
And like a table will come up from the center, and you can all be sitting around a table.
I don't know if that's in the actual product, but that's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, it was in the design, like the initial stuff, and I just thought it was so dope. And I need to look into it again just to confirm that the features that I wanted are actually there.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too, because that like literally that's what I said of like the table in the middle. Like if that's an actual thing, I don't know if you'll be able to use it while driving, but if you can just like stop and literally camp like that, that'd be sweet.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of a vehicle where you can kind of like put out the awning or something from it, which I don't think this has, but would be neat. Maybe an add-on, a custom thing. Is that the fucking Mystery Machine?
Yep, Carfax 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz Pro, painted like the Mystery Machine. You got 60 grand, it's all yours.
Again, like even if I did, nowhere to charge it. You know, I need to. It's kind of like the reason that I'm looking for a career advancement right now. You know, you need something to keep you going, and for me, it's the potential of owning a Volkswagen bus in the future.
I'm trying to look if it has the table in there. Oh, there's a little picture of the inside. Okay, it just looks like rows of seats. Come on, Volkswagen.
Also, turning the seat around like while driving.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that part probably not.
I don't even think it's self-driving. Like I'm not very interested in self-driving personally.
Nah, I
just don't trust it. And the whole thing of like, if a self-driving car gets into an accident, who is liable for that?
Right. Are you supposed to be able to sue the company? The biggest thing, I like self-parking. Like let's stop the self-driving at that. If the car can just be like car here, like sensor. All right, we'll now maneuver parallel park. Just do perfect for you. Like, okay, good. Like I feel confident that a car can figure that out for me.
It's at like 2 miles an hour.
Right, and it's a very slow thing. Exactly, it's gonna just coast and idle do it. Like I'll let the car do that. I really don't want to just let it go. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on their like advertising with the tables.
That
there.
makes me worried.
Right,
That's
you
why
figure
I'm
that'd be
saying
a
that I need
thing,
to,
like
double, triple check and like find an answer instead of just finding nothing about whether it's there.
Table. I'm just gonna look up table. Does it have the table? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, a complete guide to the interior. We're looking at the manual now.
Ooh.
Dude, you're home away from home. Goddamn targeting cookies. Look at all this shit. I haven't even touched anything yet on this fucking website, and I can't even. Never allow. Reject all cookies.
The unspoken bond that was held between users and providers on the internet was you just will watch ads, just don't make them intrusive, don't put all these pop-ups and shit. And they decided to do that. And now we got ad blockers, and I will never turn that shit off.
I was gonna say you guys fucking broke your trust. Goodbye. Yeah, I don't think they have the table. Shit.
YouTube, it's gotten a little bit around my ad blocker where it won't show me ads, but it will show me like a single like picture of a sponsor before letting me skip to the video, and then I gotta look at it for like 5 seconds. It's not a big deal,
right?
And the only one that shows up now is that for another ad blocker.
God damn it!
The paid ad blocker. You block Origin.
Okay. Hold on. So it might be a feature. I was about to deliver some bad news.
Thing?
Yeah, so the center console moves from first to second or third rows. The center console can move. The second row of seats comes in bench or captain's chair variations. You can either have the bench seat or the dual seat. And the entire third row is removable for maximum versatility. You can even add in a slide-in table feature. So it looks like it's not like a pop-up table, but it looks like there is an additional thing you can buy up on that has like your third row can pop down and
connects to the thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and because they said I have a thing. You can also add in a table, so I assumed that meant like you could bring your own table, but it seems like they have a table you can buy.
Cool new feature for this car. You can put a table in it.
You can put a whole ass table. It seems like they have a Volkswagen brand table. I don't know if it's literally just like a plastic shelf you can slide in and they're calling table, or if
it's a table that lies about how much emissions it produces.
But it's definitely not the turnaround pop-up thing. I think here, there's a little like overview of the interior. It definitely doesn't have like that same width in the middle like you would think. So I think like that third row can go down, or the second row can go down and be a table. So you can have like these seats and those seats spun around, and then
if the front seats can turn around.
I would assume so. That's the other thing. I don't know how I'd be able to look that up. Those were in the frequently asked questions, so people were obviously asking about the table.
Well, please go ahead. See, because my other concern is that I fucking hate touchscreens.
Oh, and you're the touchscreen. I think they have a touchscreen radio and everything. I hate that too. I much love my buttons and dials. I don't know if it's just like my fixation of like fidget toys and whatnot, liking to actually the response of doing things, but touchscreens suck. I actually have to look at what I'm doing. I can't just feel.
This looks to not have a touchscreen in the middle, which is great. The big thing about touchscreens, specifically in cars, is that you want to be able to make changes to your climate control and your radio volume and skip songs or whatever without looking away from the road. So you can put your hand just over the console and like brush it down, and you can feel where the dials are.
Right,
like,
exactly.
It's your car. You're going to get familiar with it. You'll know where every button for what you want to do is, and you can do it
exactly
almost mindlessly. But you can't do it with touchscreen.
Yeah,
you can, but you need to be comfortable with just relative. Like, there's nothing to base where your hand is.
Right, you just got to kind of know
where the shit is.
This interior for the Volkswagen looks sick, though. It's super retro. It's got like those cage things. It's got old-timey dials.
That was a pleasant surprise, yeah.
It's wild. It looks like it's straight from the 70s.
Yeah.
I kind of really want this car now.
I'm telling you, it's my dream vehicle.
This thing rules. It's got the little hula girl, too, in this picture. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. I got a something that sits on my dashboard, except it's a horse in a business suit.
Nice.
And it's a bobblehead, so it's
a
horse head.
Horseman?
Nope, it is just business horse.
Oh, nice.
The box said creepy business horse, or businessman horse.
Nice.
Got it from Art Smart Mart and Juggling Emporium in Milwaukee.
Well, we might have to, might be able to come together on a van like that, especially the Mystery Machine one. For some reason, the Mystery Machine painted one is less than the other ones. So they're out here.
I think when you get custom paint jobs on a car, it's like I want this. I'm owner. You're never ever going to add to the value of a vehicle by giving it a custom paint job.
That's the interior of the Mystery Machine one too. It's not the good one.
Ooh.
Get it out of here. Get that garbage going.
That's why it's cheaper.
Right.
Yeah, fucking touchscreen. The true use for the iPad, which it's not as small as a phone, so you can't take it everywhere. It's not as powerful as a computer. Kind of sits in that weird middle zone.
Right.
Perfect for putting in a car console.
That is true. Yeah, I wonder if you have to like get the option for all of that interior. It might be like uber expensive to get the retro interior too.
Dude, I'm planning. This is a far future thing for me.
By the time you get it, it's going to be like as old as the actual VW buses to us now. It's actually going to still be some bygone shit.
That's fine. I want a bygone bus now too. It's just that it seems like a smarter thing to. I also want an electric vehicle at some point. Just feel better about it. Save money on gas.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want an electric vehicle. I don't know if I want maybe a hybrid. It would save money on it, but I don't know. At the same time, gas is just like so abundant and charging stations kind of aren't. You feel like getting stranded somewhere would be...
Well, hybrids, I'm pretty sure, recharge with the gas. With the alternator.
Oh, is that how that works?
And you can charge it.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was just that they would use like, like ancillary power.
They got a whole, like, electric vehicles have a whole, like, energy reclamation thing where, like, when you're braking, you, like, converting that into energy back for your battery and stuff like that.
Oh, neat.
Just to, get as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
And the thing with hybrids, like, I'm pretty sure, like, you can charge it or you can, the battery recharges off of the gas that you burn. The leftover stuff that isn't helping propel you forward, or, like, you're idling.
Right.
Or some shit.
You
can turn the alternator with that, and you can recharge it. And then the big thing with hybrids that people like doing is, it's like you have a hybrid, so you can take the hour or 45-minute drive to work and back, and that might need some gas. But if you're staying in the town, you're going grocery shopping or something like that, you just do the electric. Easy. You have enough range on it.
Interesting. So you could switch off to just use electric or gas to power the thing?
I think it's smarter than that. I think it uses electric until it's out, and then it goes to gas.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I thought it was just like a gas engine, and then it would use like a lot more of the ancillary features were taken over by the battery and whatnot. So it was like the engine could therefore be a little bit more, efficient.
Yeah, no, I mean, the electric vehicle is it is powered by electricity to push it forward, hybrid or not. That's the goal of it.
That's pretty neat. I had no idea. I like learning things in this podcast.
Learn about blood types.
Learn about Pokemon.
Yeah, I would love to post this to the Trashcan channel if I end up doing it. I want to break down the damage calculation for Pokemon and basically try and make some like shorthand things to like help people get an understanding of how much damage something's supposed to do. Because a big thing in online play is, or in just play in general, is choice items. So there's 3 of them. There's choice band, choice specs, and choice scarf. And each one of those buffs your attack, special attack, and speed by plus 50%. That's a really big boost. But you're only locked into the first move that you select every single time you hit the field.
No matter like which one you choose, you just whether it's the speed, the other one, you just get the.
You have to click the same move every single time you're on the field. And so, really good players, they know about how much damage a Pokemon's going to do, and if it does 50% more than that, they're like, okay, that's choiced. Or they know how fast a Pokemon is, and they're like, the only way this can outspeed me is if it's choiced.
Right.
And so, if you understand the damage calculator, and you can... Because you can break down formulas into their different, like, variables, and like, if you move this variable up or down, it has this effect on the outcome. If you move this different variable up or down, it has this effect. If you have a good look at that, I think it could help people understand when like someone is a choice item or something like that, or what like certain stat stages might mean for you. Because the more information you have, like you can tell whether or not something's going to knock you out in a single hit. Like that changes how you play.
Right, and you'll be able to like change all your other moves based on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Huh. Yeah, that's a crazy amount of depth. Every time you get into talking about it, I'm just like, I can't believe that like it makes sense when you get into the pro levels of it why it would be so in depth for Pokemon, but it's just crazy to see all the different like aspects of it.
I think it's really exciting. They're moving to a new regulation this May, right at the beginning, to Regulation I.
What does that mean?
The current one that we're in is Regulation G. We get 1 restricted Pokemon. So that's Koraidon. That's Miraidon. You can only pick 1 of these super powerful box art legendaries. Reg H they did G, then H, then G again. H is with no legendaries at all. No Paradox Pokemon, just like regular non-legendaries.
Okay.
which is interesting because, there's so many different ways you can go about it, but different Pokemon get the limelight. One that's good in Reg H isn't going to be good in Reg G necessarily, or it has to switch roles. Typically, when you throw in the restricted Pokemon, other Pokemon that were like good attackers and stuff have to transfer to supportive roles for whatever they're going to do if they still see play, because you're dealing with guys that have more defense than you had to deal with before, and higher attack than you had to deal with before, and they're just going to take you out. But we're going into Reg I now, and that's 2 restricted Pokemon.
So you get 2 perhaps legendary or box art Pokemon?
Yes.
Neat.
And so this changes things a lot, because in Reg G, it's kind of like you got 1 restricted, that's your team captain.
Basically,
like,
yeah.
Everything kind of has to go around what kind of playstyle that can provide.
But now you're going to get a pair, so you can actually do a whole 1-2 combo, set your whole thing around.
It makes a lot of Pokemon a lot better. At the end of the day, it's just a different format, right? It's better for some Pokemon, it's worse for others. It doesn't necessarily mean that the format itself is better.
Sure.
But restricted Pokemon that aren't the hardest, the fastest hitters and stuff like that, they don't do well in Reg G, because you just need to sort of get shit done. But in Reg I, you have another restricted that can be your hard, fast hitter. So the other one can be a little bit more supportive. You have the freedom to do that.
Right. Because now you already have your restricted ones.
And it's a really powerful restricted supporter.
Yeah.
It's really hard to take down, and it can still threaten a lot of damage. So that makes just different guys pop up more, where they couldn't do shit in Reg G. It's okay, well, maybe they can do something now. And it actually just kind of seems like a lot of the heavy hitters from Reg G are kind of just pairing up in Reg I, but
makes sense. If you got just the 2 biggest damagers, it makes it just blitzkrieg it.
A lot of people are saying Lunala, which Lunala was A tier or so, or maybe high B in Reg G. A lot of people are saying it's the best in this Reg I format because it is inherently pretty defensive, right? It has an ability that makes it so it takes half damage when it's at full health, and it gets wide guard, which keeps... Basically how wide guard works is the enemy team, they can, use a straight attacking move on one Pokemon, or they can use a spread move that hits both on the other side of the field. Wide guard only blocks the spread moves. So if you hit a single one straight, you can still do that fine. But
wide block guard, the entire spread move, so both Pokemon won't get it?
Yes.
Nice. That's pretty sweet, actually.
So I think it's cool, and just having it on your team is a threat, right? Because if they want to click a spread move and they know you have wide guard, now you're hitting 50-50s,
Damn.
And that's another thing with choice items, because if they have a choice item equipped,
you can hit them before they hit wide guard, potentially, right? If you have the speed choice.
No, wide guard, protection moves and stuff like that, they have higher priority. They always
even over choice. Damn.
Yeah. But if someone if they choice themselves, if it's a choice band Pokemon, and let's say choice specs for a spread move, they really like clicking, and you have wide guard on your side of the field. They have a really tough choice here, where they can either attack a single Pokemon and not have to deal with wide guard, or they can use a spread move to hit both of them. But if they do that, then you'll just wide guard next turn. Right?
But then what if they don't use a spread move next turn?
Well, they're choiced into it.
Oh, so they can only
have
use...
to.
It's even... Oh, I misunderstood. I thought choice was only on the first turn you have to use that move. So it's every turn you can only use that move?
Whichever one you do on the first turn, you have to keep clicking it until you swap out.
Got you.
So then you can predict that they might swap out and stuff like that. But because they did the spread move and you have wide guard, so you know that they are not going to click it again, or so you think. So a lot of guessing games, mind games.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, Lunala is looking pretty good. I made a Lunala team for a global challenge, and it fucking sucked.
Nice.
So hopefully this time around it'll be better. I'm fucking around with a, Hydrapple?
Yeah, that's the worm in the apple, right?
It's the third 7 worms. Yeah, in an apple. I'm trying to make that guy work.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's just a funny guy. I like to try and find not the best Pokemon, but everything has a niche.
Sure.
At the end of the day, everything has one thing that they can do that no one else can do.
Right.
Maybe it's not a very useful thing, or maybe, they aren't really good at doing it, but they're the only one. And so, I think that's how it's a good way to start building a team, is you just find something interesting. And you go, I bet I could figure out how to use that.
With however many Pokemon there are, I don't know what number they're on
Over
now.
1,000.
Yeah, there's got to be like almost no wrong answer. Like there's got to be a way to make almost like if not every single Pokemon, most of the Pokemon have to work in some way. Because there can't be. There's just so many. They throw that many darts at the board. There's got to be at least a good bunch of bullseyes.
And at a tournament, you're probably going to see like over 150 different ones.
That's wild.
Like, you're going to see a lot of the same ones.
Right, because everybody's got the meta.
And everyone has their one little bit of spice. Or not even everyone has a bit of spice, but, you're going to see a lot of spice.
Right. Switching it up a little bit of their own flair.
So, yeah. I like the variety. It's funny because, like, the first gen, like, didn't have any tournaments or anything like that. They didn't do that until the 3rd generation or 4th generation, which first Pokemon World Championship, Hulk Hogan was a co-host.
I remember seeing the the clips of that. Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, my son loves this Pokemon stuff, brother. So I'm real happy to be here."
The specific clip I saw was both Pokemon on one side of the field use Protect, and he said, "Oh, they're both using protection. That's awesome. That's great.
That's awesome. That's great, brother. Great to see you, Pikachu, brother."
But Gen 1 is like pretty much completely solved.
I mean,
you run one team.
Yeah, I assume that
you
it's
outplay
simple
them on
enough.
that one team. Yeah. But then as time goes on, there's just so many more options.
Right.
And like the depth of each individual Pokemon is also deeper, expanded upon.
I was going to say, Gen 1, isn't it just Psychic? It wins all?
It's actually mainly normal types.
Really?
You include Mewtwo, but that's like, it's Mewtwo.
I assume he's got some of the craziest stats. But I thought, wasn't the whole thing in Gen 1 that Psychic didn't have a weakness?
No, it's weak to Bug.
Oh. Weird.
But now it's weak to Bug and Dark. It had nothing that resisted it.
It's Bug, Dark, and something else too, right? So I remember someone telling me like the Psychics.
Ghost.
Yeah. It was
but
based
Ghost
on
Ghost didn't have a move that did damage as much as it was. So Ghost had only one damaging move, and it did a set amount of damage. It was like 40 damage every single time, no super effect.
Oh, wasn't that was it Curse or something like that?
No, Curse is a status thing.
Oh, I forget what that
so
was.
So you couldn't hit it super effectively with that. I think your only option was Twin Needle or some bullshit. So you'd use like Snorlax, Chansey, Tauros, Mewtwo, and then like Zapdos or some shit. But it's pretty much completely solved.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's simple enough, that Gen 1.
Yeah. And nowadays it's like, I love looking at the coverage and stuff like that and being like, who's going to win this time? Who's adapting to the meta shifts and stuff like that.
Right.
But also, like, metas in games, I think is really, really neat. Just the idea of, like, this is what most people are doing because it's good. And I really like learning about the meta so I can try and do something about it. Like, how do you play into the meta is, like, the second question I ask after what is the meta.
Right.
And I think it gives a lot of direction, not only in Pokemon, but, like, in, tactical shooters and shit like that. Like, if there's some guy and he's always invisible and you expect to run into him every single game, then you got to get good at the character that, like, reveals them.
Right.
So
you have to learn to play against the meta, basically, because if everyone's going to be doing that, yeah.
So I don't know, meta games are neat. I just really like the analysis. It's a different game entirely when you start looking at how people play the game, instead of just like doing your thing. I like this Charizard because he's big and strong and has fire.
Right. It's a little bit more in-depth than that, than just what you like, than what the Pokemon anime might have you believe. Well, that is a good enough time for us to call it on this episode. Thanks for tuning in to CRT Cold Hard Trash, episode 47, right? Yep, I did it right this time. I can get it right on the ending, but the beginning's always a mess. Share it with anybody that you think would love podcasts or love Pokemon or anything else that we talked about, because I already can't remember what it was. I'll remember when I go back and listen to it, though.
A lot about a bus.
Oh, yeah.
IV,
That's right. We talked about that fucking Volkswagen bus. Good times.
Yeah.
But
Catch y'all later.
Till next time.